fellow YouTubers. This is Hero of Time 91 here, and this is my next Zelda video. So this one's going to be over the Majora's Mask theory. It goes off the psychology theory of the 5 stages of grief and correlates them with the 5 areas of the world in Majora's Mask. So I'll briefly go over it, and I'm going to briefly refute why this theory, which is gaining popularity, is misapplying it and is sadly wrong. So, number 1, going over the theory. What we have here in this one is the first part, and this part of the theory holds up pretty well. It's Clocktown is that the people are, it represents the first part of grief, which is denial. The people are in denial that the moon is going to fall and that the world's going to end. And we clearly see this in the game. Pretty much everybody in there, for the most part, either wants to keep the tradition, others want to escape, but they're all denying that the moon is going to happen. They're going to keep up with the festival anyway. The second part of the theory, we go into Woodfall, or the swamp area, and what this is supposed to represent with the Deku King and his people is supposed to represent anger. Now this is where we start seeing a little bit of, which we'll get into later, but this is where we start seeing they're trying to force a fit here. And we see Deku King is angry, and because they're accusing the monkey of kidnapping the princess, which monkey didn't do, and he's going to kill the monkey for it. The third part of the theory is which goes to Snowfall, which is going to be bargaining. Basically, Darmani bargains with Link since he's died and couldn't rescue his people. Therefore, he bargains with Link to take his place to save his people. The third area of it is sorrow, because Lulu, when she gave birth to her, she laid her eggs. The eggs didn't hatch, and she lost her voice. So Maika, and not only that, but they got stolen. So Maika goes out to rescue them and ends up failing. And since he's grieved about it, and then she's in grief, everyone's in sadness and sorrow about it. That's supposed to be the third stage of, or technically the fourth stage of grief. So, fifth and lastly, the last stage of grief is supposed to be acceptance, and in this is in the Icana Canyon or Valley, where Link finally comes to acceptance that Navi's gone forever and that he'll never find her. Now, like I said, the first part of the theory holds up very well. That one seems to be solid. It starts skeetering really bad after the second one. Once we go to Woodfall, yes, the king's angry, but we don't know if the other people are angry. All the other Deku people, they're just following orders, you know. Yeah, they might not be happy, but they're just keeping it. We don't have enough evidence to show that. We definitely know it starts falling with Darmani. Now, Darmani, bargaining with Link, fails horribly here. And the reason why is this. Alright, he was going to defeat God, and he had an epic fail. It's somewhat funny, but sad, is he tries to go up the mountain to go to the temple to beat God, and a Goron's blowing it, and he falls down in the canyon below. And now we see the other people, the other Gorons are freezing. They want to freeze to death, or they want to hear a crying baby. You know, and freeze to death while listening to a crying baby. While their supplies go low. You know. And they're not seeming to do anything. So that part of bargain doesn't work. It's only with Darmani. The next part, technically, this is where it definitely fails. Yes, it's sorrow, but what happens is Lulu gives birth to her eggs, lays her eggs, and she loses her voice, and people are worried about it. They're sad about it. So they go to the Marine Research Laboratory to put the eggs there to see what's going on. Or they're about to anyway, and while she was going to, the night before, the Gerudo's pirates go in, and they take her eggs. Maika goes in, fails. The point here is this. Maika, you could also say, is bargaining with Link. He's bargaining with Link to go get the eggs back. No, he's trying to be a good friend to her, and a good band member, by doing it, and he regrets it. He has regret. This is what all these dead characters are. They have regret. That's the Zelda lore. When a soul cannot go into the land of the afterlife unless they get rid of their regret. There's something holding them to the land of the living, and they can't pass on until they get rid of that regret. You have that with Darmani, and you have that with Maika. And that's the main point here. This is where the theory definitely fails. You know, we'll get into the next part later. Now, the last part is this, okay? And with this one is I Can't Evaluate. They get this horribly wrong. There's nowhere said in there it's about Navi. You say, well, it's the elegy of emptiness, Fred. You know, the king tells him it sheds his, whenever he plays the song as a different form, it sheds a shell of your former self. Well, yes. We see the Deku kid, who's the Deku Butler's son, who died. You got Darmani, who we already went over, and then we have Maika, who we've already covered. Now, the main point of the elegy. Well, what about the Link one right there? Link looks really sad. Well, we got to understand here. Link defeated Ganondorf in the adult timeline and was sent back to regain his childhood. He has the memories of being a hero of time, but people don't remember it besides the royal family. And the main point is he grew up as a Kokiri, but now he's a Highland. He knows he's no longer a Kokiri. So now the shell of his former self there was him as a Kokiri. And now he's trying to live as a Highland, trying to find his own role or destiny to fulfill, since he's already fulfilled the role of the hero. And that's what that represents. And the king, we see him with his two lackeys after Link beats him. I mean, he grabs them because they're arguing over stupid stuff, and he's lamenting that this is why the kingdom has fallen apart. They didn't learn to forgive one another, and they had petty squabbles. And then Link, he teaches Link that song, and he says, let the light of justice go on the land. In other words, Link is to let the land no longer be in regret and to play the song, so this way all those dead enemies there will stop having regret and they'll go away and finally go to the afterlife where they belong. That's what it's talking about there. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with him coming to terms with Navi. It has nothing to do with it. It has nowhere mentioned this. It's him being the one to redeem the land. And there's a great theory. I'll give a link in the video description below. I highly recommend it. It's a great theory that uses game evidence correctly and doesn't force a fit. That is the main problem here. And the 5 stages of grief theory. The Kubler-Ross model is psychology. Okay? In this theory, there's multiple theories of grief, and not everyone follows this theory of grief. And you know, in science, when you have a theory and it doesn't work all the time, it's a fail. It's not good science. I mean, I'm not dissing anyone who goes in psychology here. I'm just saying this theory of the Kubler-Ross model is okay? And that's the main point. So, I hope you enjoy listening to this. It's just, I'm really tired of this theory being posted around as a fact in Zelda, and it's not. It's really bad, honestly. And it's called a thing called eisegesis. Eisegesis is when you read a preconceived notion or idea into the text. And sadly, on VG Facts, this is a fact, and it's not. This is a theory. Theories are not part of facts. I mean, this is a cool conspiracy Zelda theory and stuff, but it's a serious theory, no. And so, I felt like I had to do my part here, as a Zelda fan, to dismiss this. Because no one that I know of on YouTube that I have found has dismissed this theory. So, please tell me in the comments below, because I'm thinking about having other Zelda sections, like this one right now. If you want me to cover a topic or a theory in Zelda, you know, feel free to put in the comments below. Please subscribe to my channel. Also, if you can, please put this on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you want. Just tell people about this video, and so I can get more people involved so we can get some ideas going. Thank you, God bless, and may you have a great weekend.